What if I told you that your hands have been keeping a secret from you, not hiding something, keeping score? This morning, somewhere between the bed and the kettle, your hand brushed the door frame. Last night, on the way to the bathroom, your fingers found the wall in the dark. And outside the shops, at the edge of the curb, you paused, just for a beat, just long enough to check. None of that felt like a decision. But every single one of those small touches is a message from your balance system, and the message is this: I am losing my tune, and nobody is retuning me. Now, none of that is said to frighten you. It is said to point you at something fixable, because here is the good news hiding inside it. Balance is not a lottery ticket you were handed at birth. It is a skill, and a skill can be practiced. Today, I am going to give you one simple habit that takes 60 seconds a day. No equipment, no gym clothes, no getting down on the floor. You do it standing at the kitchen counter you already lean on, and you can start the very next time you boil the kettle. We are going to cover what this habit is, why 60 daily seconds beats a full hour once a week, the exact routine second by second, how to make it automatic, and how to make it grow with you. And around the halfway mark, I am going to give you a 10-second test right at that same counter that tells you more about your fall risk than any gadget money can buy. That test is the part of this video that surprises people the most. So here is what is actually happening in your body. Your sense of balance is built from 3 streams of information. Your eyes tell your brain where the horizon is. Your inner ear senses every tilt and turn of your head. And thousands of pressure sensors in your feet and ankles report exactly where your weight is sitting moment to moment. Your brain blends those 3 streams hundreds of times a second into one quiet skill you never had to think about. And that skill works like a piano. It drifts out of tune a little every single day. Not because anything is broken, because tuning is the whole job. Your brain is constantly recalibrating those 3 streams against each other, and it can only recalibrate when you challenge it. Here is the problem. Modern life has quietly removed the challenges. You sit in chairs with arms. You walk on flat, smooth floors. You hold the railing, you take the lift, you avoid the uneven path. Every one of those choices is sensible on its own. Together, they mean your balance system can go days without a single genuine rehearsal. And your nervous system has a strict rule. Whatever goes unused gets trimmed back. Use it or lose it is not a slogan. It is how your brain manages its own wiring. That is part of why, according to the CDC, 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls every year. And researchers who measure these things across the decades have found something striking. The time you can stand on one leg drops faster with age than your grip strength or your walking speed. Balance fades first. But nobody tells you that, and nobody hands you the retuning schedule. That is not your fault. It is an information gap, and we are closing it right now. So here is the habit. I call it the kettle minute. 60 seconds, once a day, standing at your kitchen counter while the kettle boils or the coffee brews. It has 3 parts, each 20 seconds long. Part 1, 20 seconds of slow side-to-side weight shifts. Part 2, 20 seconds standing on your left leg. Part 3, 20 seconds standing on your right. That is the whole thing. Hands on the counter, feet on your own kitchen floor, 1 minute of your life. And I will say this plainly. This is the single most protective 60 seconds you can give your body each day, because it rehearses the exact skill that keeps you off the floor. Physical therapists have used weight shifting and single leg practice as the first stage of balance retraining for decades. This is not a trend. It is the foundation. Before you try even 1 second of it, 3 ground rules. First, do this at a sturdy counter or heavy table, something that will not move when you lean on it, with your support inside, easy reach the entire time. Second, wear shoes or go barefoot, never socks on a smooth floor. Third, if you feel sharp pain or the room starts to spin, stop immediately and sit down. And if you have had a recent surgery, if you get frequent dizzy spells, or if your doctor has told you to be careful on your feet, run this routine past them first. This habit exists to protect your independence, so we do it the protected way. Part 1, the weight shift, 20 seconds. Here is why this comes first. Almost nobody falls while standing still. Falls happen in the handover, that split second when your weight moves from one foot to the other. stepping, turning, reaching for the cupboard. Every step you take is really a small controlled handover of your entire body from one leg to the other. And if the handover is sloppy, a rug edge or a curb can take the rest. So we train the handover itself. Stand facing your counter, feet hip width apart, both hands resting lightly on the countertop. Stand tall, as if a string were lifting the crown of your head. Now shift your weight slowly to the left, over your left foot, until your right foot feels light on the floor. Take about 2 slow seconds to get there. Pause for 1 breath, then shift slowly across to the right. Keep going, left, right, for 20 seconds. Slow is the entire point. Anyone can lurch. You are practicing control. 1 form cue. Keep your eyes forward on the window or the wall, never down at your feet. In real life, your balance has to work while your eyes are on where you are going. And here is what you should feel. The pressure rolling across the sole of each foot from the inside edge to the outside edge, and a gentle switching on along the side of each hip. That feeling is the conversation between your feet and your brain back on the line. When the shifting feels smooth, let the light foot hover just off the floor at the end of each shift. That tiny lift is the doorway into part 2, because part 2 takes 1 foot away completely. Part 2, the left leg stand, 20 seconds. Why 1 leg? Because walking is a series of 1 leg stands. Every single step you take, there is a moment when your whole body is balanced on 1 foot while the other swings through the air. The stairs demand it. Stepping into the bath demands it. Pulling on your trousers demands it. If standing on 1 leg feels shaky, every one of those moments is borrowing steadiness you do not have to spare. So, hands on the counter, shift your weight fully onto your left foot, and peel your right foot off the floor. 1 inch is plenty. You are not auditioning as a flamingo. You are rehearsing a skill. Hold it for 20 seconds, or if counting feels fussy, 4 slow breaths. Your 1 form cue. Keep a soft bend in your standing knee. A locked knee is a stiff knee, and stiff cannot adjust. And about that wobble you are going to feel. That wobble is not a problem. That wobble is the whole point. It is your nervous system making thousands of tiny corrections, which is exactly the practice it has been starving for. Silence would mean nothing is being learned. The wobble means class is in session. Everything today comes out of Steady for Good, the balance and leg strength handbook I wrote for people over 70 who are tired of dreading the curb outside the shops. 110 pages. Every exercise, step by step, the whole plan, in plain words. $35, down from $47, less than 1 session with a personal trainer. Grab your phone, open the camera, the same one you use for pictures. Point it at the square code on your screen and hold it steady. When the link pops up, tap it, or it is waiting below in the description. No rush. I will be right here. Now part 3, your other leg, and it has a story of its own. Part 3, the right leg stand, 20 seconds. Same setup. Hands on the counter, weight onto your right foot, left foot peeled 1 inch off the floor, soft knee, eyes forward, 4 slow breaths. But pay close attention here, because your 2 legs are about to tell you 2 different stories. Almost everyone finds one side steadier than the other. Dorothy is 76. Her left leg holds 20 seconds like a fence post. Her right leg starts trembling at 8. She had no idea until she tried. And that difference is not a failure, it is information. Your shakier side is the side most likely to let you down on the stairs, so from now on, that side is your favorite. Whenever you find a spare, 10 seconds by the counter, give them to the weaker leg. Over the weeks, the gap closes, and a closing gap is fall protection you can actually feel. That is the full kettle minute. 20 seconds of shifts, 20 on the left, 20 on the right. The kettle is barely getting loud by the time you finish. Which brings me to the counter test I promised you at the start. Here is the 10-second test, the part that surprises people the most. Stand beside your counter, hands hovering just above it, not touching. Lift 1 foot and count. 10 seconds is the line. Then swap sides. If you can hold 10 seconds on each leg without grabbing on, your balance foundation is holding. If you cannot, do not be discouraged, because you are exactly the person this habit was built for, and here is why that number matters so much. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed about 1,700 adults in their 50s, 60s, and 70s for roughly 7 years. The people who could not hold a 10-second one-leg stand had an 84% higher risk of dying during the study from any cause. 84%. That is not a small signal. That is your body flying a flag. Now breathe, because here is what that study does not say. It does not say a short stand is a sentence. It says balance is one of the loudest early warnings your body gives, and unlike your age, it is a warning you can answer. Balance responds to training at 70, at 80, at 90. So here is what I want you to do with this test. Write today's number on the calendar. On the first day of every month, test again. Same counter, same time of day, and write it down. Watching that number climb month after month is one of the most convincing things you will ever do for yourself, because it is your own body reporting back that the retuning is working. Now let's answer the question hiding inside this whole video. Why every day? Why not save it up and do 5 minutes twice a week? First, let me be honest with you. If you go to a weekly exercise class, keep going. It is genuinely good for you, and I am not here to talk you out of it. But here is what a weekly class cannot do. Remember the piano. If the tuner only visits once a week, the piano still spends 6 days drifting. Balance is not a muscle you can bulk up on Saturday and coast on. It is a calibration, a live conversation between your feet, your ears, your eyes, and your brain, and conversations fade when nobody speaks for 6 days. The research on how we learn movement backs this up. Studies of skill learning in older adults keep finding the same pattern. Short practice, repeated often, builds skill that sticks better than the same total minutes packed into one long session. Your brain consolidates what it rehearses between sleeps. So 10 one-minute rehearsals beat one 10-minute cram. And the most trusted fall prevention program in the world is built on that same principle. The Otago exercise program, developed by researchers in New Zealand and now used by health services around the world, cut falls by around 35% in trials with older adults. It is nothing like a boot camp. Just short, simple balance and strength work done at home, spread through the week rather than piled into one big workout, little and often. The kettle minute is that same principle boiled down to the smallest daily dose that still counts. 1 minute, you will actually do beats. 10 minutes, you keep postponing. Every single day. So how do you make sure the minute actually happens? You do not rely on willpower. You attach it to something your hands already do without thinking. Harold is 81. Every morning of his adult life, he has filled the kettle for his tea. 3 weeks ago, he made one small change. Kettle on, hands on the counter, and the 60 seconds start. He told himself he would try it for a week. Now his weight starts shifting before he has consciously decided anything. The kettle clicks, the habit runs. That is wiring at work, not discipline. Your brain loves a trigger it can see and hear, and the kettle is perfect because it traps you in the kitchen for 2 or 3 minutes with nothing to do anyway. The rule has 3 parts. Same trigger, same spot, every day. If you are a coffee person, the machine gurgling is your starting gun. If it is the microwave, those glowing digits counting down are a ready-made timer. Toast works too. The point is that you never have to remember the habit because your kitchen remembers it for you, and keep it to one anchor. A habit that lives everywhere ends up living nowhere. Yours lives at the counter, at breakfast time, 60 seconds, done before the water boils. Now here is how the kettle minute grows with you, because a habit that never changes stops teaching. You progress along one simple dial, hand contact. Week 1, both hands rest on the counter for the whole minute. Let your body learn the shapes with full support. Week 2, one hand. The other hovers at your side, ready. Week 3, fingertips only, touching the counter the way you would touch a piano key you do not want to sound. And week 4, hands hovering an inch above the counter, close enough to catch you instantly, never behind your back, never in your pockets. Each step removes a little borrowed steadiness and hands the job back to your own legs and your own brain. If any step feels shaky, stay where you are for another week. There is no schedule to keep. The dial only turns when you are ready, and it can always turn back on a tired day. One more honest thing. For the first 2 weeks, you may feel like nothing is changing, and I would rather tell you that now than lose you at day 9. Balance improves quietly. The rewiring happens underneath, out of sight, and then it shows up all at once in the middle of ordinary life. Week 3, week 4, you step off the curb outside the shops and your foot just lands. You pull on your socks standing up. You reach the bathroom at 2 in the morning and realize afterward that your hand never touched the wall. You are doing this work now so your body can protect you later in that split second when it matters most. And this is where I need you to hear the last 2 words of the title, for good. The kettle minute is not a program. Programs end. This is maintenance, exactly like brushing your teeth. You do not brush hard for 6 weeks and then graduate. You brush every day for the rest of your life because the plaque comes back every day. Balance is the same. The drift never stops, so the retuning never stops. The only finish line here is the one we are trying to avoid, which is why I want to warn you about the most dangerous day in this whole habit. It is not the wobbly day. It is the steady day, the morning you feel solid and a quiet voice says, you clearly do not need this anymore. Do not skip the days when you feel steady. Those are actually the most important days of all, because feeling steady is not proof the work is finished. Feeling steady is proof the work is working. Before you go, tell me down below what you are anchoring your 60 seconds to. The kettle, the coffee maker, the toaster, something else entirely. I read every single one, and your answer might be the idea that gets somebody else started. You now own a habit that takes 60 seconds a day and guards the stairs, the dark hallway, and every curb this week. If you want the full plan this minute comes from, open your phone's camera, aim it at the code on your screen, and hold it steady until the link appears. Then tap it. It is also waiting in the description. Take your time, no hurry here. And if you want to keep getting steadier, subscribe to Steady Steve, because staying steady and staying independent are the same job, and we work at it here every week.